the 72-hour sardine challenge. What is it and why am I gonna do it? So a sardine challenge is considered a modified fast. Some people don't like to call it a fast because you're eating food instead of abstaining from it, but it does have some very strict rules to follow. And if you do it correctly, you are going to get a lot of the benefits that you would actually get from a water fast or a dry fast. With this sardine challenge, it is a metabolic reset, which means it will help kick off some good fat burning. It will give you a good surge of ketones, which means it's very healing, and it's also going to be very energizing. So why am I doing the sardine challenge? So I've got a few things going on this month that I've been changing around and tweaking and trying to, I'm trying to regulate my hormones because my cycle is irregular and I would like to get that straightened out a bit. And I will explain more later on a few other changes that I've made. The sardine challenge is fitting right into the other things that I'm changing. Another thing is, I'm not one that just is constantly watching my weight and is in weight loss mode. However, I will say that when I went on my cruise in March, I did gain some weight and I lost some when I came back, but I have been stuck at a constant, I think about 125 since then. And really, I typically feel a little bit better just being a little bit less than that. Now, if it were reflected in my numbers that I had gained some muscle and I was, a few pounds up because it was muscle gain, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm not just looking at that number of 125 pounds and saying, oh, I need to adjust that specific number. I have one of those scales that gives you all kinds of readings. And ever since my cruise, my subcutaneous fat has been higher. And honestly, I took a break from working out. I have not really had a whole lot of good muscle growth since being back either. So with that, I would like to burn off some of that extra fat that I have. And if I don't lose the weight because I gain some muscle, I'm going to be fine with that. I just want to see that that subcutaneous fat is actually going down. Hey there, so I'm doing a 72-hour sardine challenge, or you might call it a sardine fast. Some people don't like the term fast because you're eating sardines, not abstaining from them. I don't care, call it whatever you want. But for 72 hours, I will be eating sardines and fat and nothing else. That is it. This is a fasting mimicking diet. And with doing this, I should be getting a nice big surge of ketones, which I know the last time I did this, I absolutely experienced that surge. It was very strange to me to wake up on the third day and have like this massive ketone buzz that I usually don't feel unless I am doing a water fast or a dry fast. So I really get excited about that. It's also going to help get in tune with hunger cues. So if you're a person that has a hard time figuring out, am I hungry or am I bored? Instead of having to ask yourself this over and over, for 3 days, whenever you're hungry, you just eat. But since you're just eating the sardines, if you're not hungry, you're probably not gonna want them. But if these things sound delicious and appetizing and you're ready to eat them, you are probably not bored. You are probably ready to actually eat and get some nourishment. What we're doing here is we've got, I've got lots of different brands, but I always get mine packed in water. I am not a big fan of the oils that some of them come in. I just don't, honestly, I've never liked tinned seafood with oil. I don't like it. So I always get mine in water. So if you're eating your sardines that are packed in water, or if you get the ones in oil and you strain the oil off, you're going to want to add 1 tablespoon of fat per tin of sardines. Now that fat could be butter, it could be ghee, bacon grease, tallow, it could be mayonnaise. You have options, whatever type of fat you want to add to it. If you like oils and you use that, you could do avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. I don't know how that would go with the fish, but hey, if you like it, whatever. So, I mean, you could use oils. I just am not a big fan of them. You can use condiments with these. You can use hot sauce, mustard, vinegar, like I said, with the fats, mayo. You can add things to this to make it more palatable. Just focus on making sure the carb count is incredibly low. Try to get 0 carb if you can. Now, I am not just a person who likes to pop open the can of sardines and just eat them just like that. So that's the whole reason I'm making this video, is just to kind of give you guys an idea of how I like to fix my sardines so they're appetizing. So I'm just gonna try to show you guys a few different ways over the next 3 days as I'm fixing my sardines, how I like to eat them, how I enjoy them, and maybe it will give you some ideas to try. Maybe it might let you find them more enjoyable than you have found them in the past. So hopefully this might help you out. So I have got my sardines right here all ready for my 3 days. I may have to get more, but I think that's probably gonna do me, because I've also got, I know sardines is the name of the game, but you can also do kippered herring, you can do mackerel. You have to stick with the small fish. You can't be adding in salmon or tuna or any of the larger seafood, no shrimp, no other seafood. You're sticking with the teeny tiny fish. So I've got kippered herring here, the kipper snacks. I really like these. I like that smoky flavor. And these I actually can eat straight out of the tin. I don't need to do anything to them. So this gives me a little bit more variety that I can add in to all of my sardines. So I should be set for the next 3 days. One thing that I find surprising is that the sardines are very filling. So it doesn't take a whole lot to feel really full. I'm gonna start out with 2 cans this morning. And I've actually got, I'll show you my favorites. So I've got the King Oscar wild caught sardines, but these are the finest bristling. You see that right down here at the bottom. These are teeny tiny sardines, and I really like that they're small. I like to cook them up in the skillet or throw them in the air fryer. I like that they're small. Now, and these taste really good to me. Another one that I was really surprised about is the Great Value brand from Walmart. These are much bigger sardines than these right here. They're a lot fatter. I think with this one, it says there's 8 to 12 fish in one tin, whereas this one, I think it's usually 4, maybe 5. It's not many. These are really fat fish. The flavor of these is probably the most neutral sardine flavor I have ever tasted. It actually reminds me closer to tuna than it does to sardines. So this one I recommend if you like tuna salad and things like that, because you can chop this up and add some mayo in there and pretty much trick yourself into thinking you're eating tuna salad. I've got a few new brands I've not tried before. This one is Northern Catch. It is from Aldi. I only bought one because I've noticed with some of the canned products from Aldi, it's really hit or miss. And I did not want to load up on these and they taste really bad. I didn't want to chance it. So I'm going to try this one can, and then if I really like it, I will go back and get more. I'm also trying the Beach Cliff for the first time. I have not had this one before, so I'm excited to try this. I have tried a few other brands, and if I can't remember off the top of my head what they were, but I did not like them. Getting into sardines, was very surprised to find out that they taste really different from one brand to the next. To the point where, like I said, the ones from Walmart, they're very neutral and remind me of tuna. I've had some that were so bad that I gagged trying to get it down. It was just horrible. So I don't know, you just have to buy a bunch of brands, try them out, see what you like and see what you don't like. But don't try one sardine, hate it, and think you're off sardines forever because it was just horrible. It might just be you don't like that brand. So be open to experimenting. I think I'm gonna start with my beach cliff this morning, and it doesn't tell me how many are in this one. So let me just open this up and see what size these are. Okay, these are kind of between the size of the King Oscar bristling and the Walmart one. I'm gonna drain off the liquid in a second, but they're pretty small. That's not bad. They smell pretty innocent too. So I'm gonna cook up these in the skillet, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. Okay, I've got my skillet and we'll turn it on medium. All right, I'm going with 2 tablespoons of ghee. Because this month I am not doing any butter. I am off all dairy. So the ghee is what I have. I made it really, really dark this last time, and so it should be really good. All right, let that melt down. Not to let any more juice get out because I didn't want that. Okay, I tasted one of these before pulling them out, and this is a very neutral one as well. So I think this is probably going to round out my top 3 favorites. So that would be this Beach Cliff, and then the King Oscar Finest Bristling, and the Great Value sardines, all packed in water. There we go. Okay. They are popping. Yeah. Okay, I think that should do it. Get all that fat out of there. Okay, and usually when I do it this way in the skillet, I will add a little bit of garlic powder, but I have run out. You see, I am empty. So today, I'm just gonna do a sprinkle of salt. And next time I will add some garlic powder to it. Okay, so I've got my bowl of sardines here. Let me taste it for you guys. Okay. So these are the Beach Cliff. These are a new one for me. They're gonna be in my top 3. Very neutral, very tender. At first I was a little annoyed that they were falling apart as I was pulling them out of the tin to cook them or to heat them up, but they're so tender and the flavor is really neutral. I'm gonna give them a pass on the flaking apart. They're just not gonna be full sardines. They're gonna be a bit chopped up in there. So I'm gonna go eat these and enjoy them. This is 2 cans and I'm starting out with 2 tablespoons of ghee. And I will see you guys back at whatever time I decide I'm hungry again to eat some more. It's 9:50 a.m. right now, first meal of the day, and we'll see how it goes. Okay guys, well, the lighting's not great today, so just bear with me. I just on a whim decided to film this sardine challenge. I didn't really plan ahead, and I don't feel like moving lights around and all that. So I just ate my 2 cans of sardines with the 2 tablespoons of ghee for breakfast. As soon as I finished it, I was still hungry, and I thought, let me wait a minute and see if I, am ready for more or not. But I am. So it's only 10:20. Not much time has passed, but I am hungry. So I'm going to go ahead and have some more. And I am going to just go ahead and have some kipper snacks just because I don't have to do anything to fix it. I'm just going to eat it straight out of the can. And then I've got me a little frozen ghee bite from the freezer. This one is half a tablespoon. So that bite of ghee was half a tablespoon. I had another one that was a half a tablespoon earlier. So that's gonna bring me up to a tablespoon of fat per tin of fish. So here's my kippered herring. I love the smoky flavor of this. All right, so I'll see you guys when I'm hungry again. Okay, we're on to day 2. It is Saturday morning, 10 after 9. And I didn't get hungry again yesterday, so I just had the 2 cans of sardines and the 1 can of kipper snacks. This morning I'm going to be going with the Great Value brand, and I'm going to be making a dressing that I like to have on top of it, and I just eat it cold. So it's gonna have some apple cider vinegar, a little bit of Dijon mustard, some ghee, and some Redmond's seasoning salt. All right, let me show you how I fix it, and then I'm going to eat it and enjoy it. Okay, I'm starting with 2 tablespoons of ghee. I'm gonna get that melted. Okay, we've got 2 tablespoons of melted ghee, or you could do brown butter is what I usually use, but I'm going dairy-free at the moment, so I have got some really nicely browned ghee. Just a little squirt of Dijon mustard. A nice little sprinkling of Redmond's seasoning salt. And then we need 2 tablespoons of Bragg's apple cider vinegar. And I am doubling this because I'm doing 2 tins of sardines. And then let's hope this doesn't spray us. Okay, only made a little mess. All right, I'm gonna set that over here for a second while we get our fishies out. Okay, and today I'm going with the Great Value from Walmart, and I was saying yesterday that these are much bigger than the other ones. You'll notice there's only 4 fish in here as compared to the other can yesterday. And I have already drained the water out. All right, there's all my fishies, and all I'm gonna do is pour my dressing right on top. And then I like to eat it with a spoon so that I can chop up the fish and take a bite of fish with the dressing. Okay, so I got my fish. It's so good and tangy, and it's a lot different than the other flavors that you get when you're just doing the butter or oils or whatever. I'm gonna go enjoy my fish. This is day 2, starting off with 2 tins of sardines and 2 tablespoons of ghee in my dressing mixture. So all right, I will see you guys back when I'm hungry for more sardines. Okay, hopefully it's not too noisy. I've got a TV on because my kid's home, and I've got my air fryer heating up, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I've had a full day. It is 4:10, and I am finally getting hungry again. So I'm gonna do 2 more tins, but I don't know. I've got this one from Aldi I have not tried yet, so I'm gonna try it. Depending on what the fish look like and how they taste, I'm either going to do a second one being my last King Oscar, or I might do my Kipper snacks, so we're gonna see. But I want to air fry some. I like to air fry them in bacon grease. And then I'm gonna have some, because I'm hungry right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and chop some up with a little mayo and a little mustard to make it like a little bit of a tuna salad. Okay, so here, okay, they smell okay, are my sardines from Aldi. I'm gonna spill it. Okay, here's my sardines from Aldi. They look pretty good. I think I will be air frying these. That's what I was hoping for, was some small ones for air frying. So that means I'm going to go with my Kipper snacks to mix up and eat like a tuna fish. Okay, so I've got a tablespoon of bacon grease. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the air fryer to be warming up and melting. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go with another can of the Great Value sardines instead of the Kipper snacks, because I'm just kind of in the mood for like a tuna salad kind of thing, and these taste a lot like tuna to me. Holy cow, you guys, I just opened the Great Value one. I showed you the one I had earlier. It had 4 fish in it, 4 big fat fish. I think this one actually has 5. I don't think I've ever seen this many in a Great Value tin. Go ahead and chop these guys up a bit. Okay, I've got about a tablespoon of mayo here. Small squirt of mustard. That's all for that one. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this because I'm hungry. Yeah, that hits the spot. That absolutely reminds me of tuna salad. All right, and then I will be back in a minute with the air fried sardines. Okay, we got all of our bacon grease melted. Try to load my little sardines in there without draining the juice, but there's still some in the bottom of the tin. Come on, little guy, separate. Okay, and we're just going to let them go. Okay, we're gonna check on the air fryer. It's been about 4 minutes, and these things sound like popcorn. They're so loud and popping and exploding from all of the water in them being in the bacon grease. So let's see what it's looking like.
Oh my gosh, the whole thing was spinning in there. That's hilarious. I've never seen anything like that before. Whoa. Flip these little guys over. Thought maybe I could separate them now, but they're still not being very friendly. All right, they got about 3 minutes left. Okay, it is all done. All right, hot sizzly sardines from the air fryer. A little sprinkle of salt. Yeah, they're feeling a little bit crispier. They could go longer, but I'm ready to just go ahead and eat them. Okay, here's my sizzly hot air fried ones. Let's see if I can get a bite. Oh, these are super hot. Okay, the texture is good. I think I wanted them a little bit crispier, so maybe like 12 minutes would have been good. But the texture's okay. The flavor, they're not bad, but they're not my favorite. I think if I'm at Aldi and I need sardines because, I don't know, I've never been in I absolutely need these sardine situation, but they're not bad. Like I said, they're just not my favorite. So yeah, they're okay. I think I'm gonna add some more salt. A little more salt to them. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, they're okay. Maybe I should have gone with my King Oscar ones for the air frying them, because those I know are fantastic in the bacon grease and everything. Not bad, not my favorite, but I'm gonna eat them and they're gonna be good. And that takes me to 4 tins of sardines today and 4 tablespoons of fat. So that's 2 tablespoons of ghee, 1 tablespoon of bacon grease, and 1 tablespoon of mayo. So that is day 2. I suspect this is going to wrap it up because it is now almost 4:40. I don't usually eat this late. This is kind of late for me to eat anyways. I don't see myself being hungry again later. So I think that's going to call it for today. And then I will see you guys back tomorrow for day 3. Bye. Good morning. So it is day 3 right now. I am a little bit over 47 hours. And I woke up this morning with a big ketone buzz. I feel like I can just feel it humming through my body. It's almost like I had a huge mug of lots and lots and lots of caffeine. And it's, you know, I can just kind of feel it surging under the skin. It's a good thing though. I feel like I got lots of energy. I'm feeling really good. So it's 9:30, about to go to church. I'm just gonna start off with a thing of kipper snacks just to have something quick. I'm gonna eat it straight out of the can. And I got my ghee bites here from the freezer, so I'm just gonna grab one of my tablespoon ones out of there. And I'm gonna have that with my kipper snacks. All right, I'll catch you guys later when I'm back and whenever I get hungry for more. Bye. Okay, it's 2:50. I'm about to go with my last King Oscar These are my favorite, but I have to order them online and haven't seen as good of a price lately. I'm gonna do this one in the skillet, sauteing it in some ghee, and that's going to be my meal. Okay, here's my fishies. Popping like crazy. Okay, so that took about 10 minutes. It's about 3 o'clock now. I got my super hot, somewhat crispy sardines. I've salted them. These are perfect. So good and crispy. All right, I will see you guys when I get hungry again. We'll see how it goes. Bye. Okay, so I just finished that, but immediately I was still hungry. So I went ahead and have another can of sardines with a little bit of dressing. I just made half a batch so that way I can have a frozen ghee bite with it as well. So I'm gonna eat this and then we'll see, maybe I'll be hungry again. Good morning. It is almost 10 a.m. This is my last meal of sardines. So we're still within the 72 hours, but because of what time I started on day 1, we're now on day 4, and 72 hours ended at 9:50. So it is 9:55 right now, but you have to have a tin of sardines on your last moment of this challenge, or else you haven't completed the challenge. So this is my meal. I am going to be having, this is another Great Value brand package, and I just went for a walk. It's really hot outside, that's why my hair is up, and I'm trying to cool off. So I went with the cold version again and just used my vinaigrette dressing that I like to make for it. So that's what I'm having to end my sardine challenge. Really good. And in a little while, I will fill you guys in on the benefits that I felt from it. Today, again, I woke up, big ketone surge, lots of energy, had a workout, got some editing done, went for a walk. So now I'm eating, finishing up this challenge, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So that was my 72-hour challenge, and before I show you the results, I do kind of want to tell you what overall things I have changed in the month of May. I want to be upfront and honest with you that I've had quite a few things I've changed, and I've already had positive changes moving in the direction I want before I went into this challenge. So I will say that this did accelerate things a bit, but I already was making positive changes that I wanted to make. So all of this could have contributed leading up to my 72-hour challenge. My first big change was to drop the rest of the dairy. Most of you know the only dairy that I include in my diet is butter. But since being back from my cruise and having that extra bit of fat that I just can't quite get off, I'm thinking maybe it is the little bit of dairy that I'm still having with that butter, and I do eat a good amount of butter. So I said goodbye to the butter. I traded it out for some ghee, and that is what I have had this month so far. We're 20 days into the month, and that's been a change that I have kept, and it's been consistent. I have not had any butter this month. Another change that I have made has been my movement.
So before, I was trying to get some kind of intentional exercise as much as I could. Now, I'm not a person that does these huge, long workouts and just goes extreme, but I have a tendency to get in the routine of exercising and then I don't give myself the break that I actually need. So this month, I have made sure that I am doing 3 days of intentional exercise. I might do 4, but I'm only committing to 3. And I am having 2 very intentional days that are rest days, and that is my weekend. Saturday and Sunday, I rest. I don't even count my steps on those days. I don't track them. I don't care what they are. I want to make sure my body is resting. I feel like my body just needed some time to relax. And I feel like that has been going very well for me as well. I have not been doing extended fasts this month. I said earlier in the video that I'm trying to regulate my cycle. It's been a bit dysregulated. I had a normal cycle in January, and then I didn't have a period in February. March and April were 45 or more. Like my cycle was 45 days or more. Another thing that I do typically is I try to do some extended fasting. I just like to have the health benefits that come with it. But I will tell you that really this whole year, I want to say in general, I have not been in the mood to fast. I've thought about it. I've thought about the health benefits. I've tried to do a few extended fasts and I am just not in the mindset for it. My brain does not want to commit to it. I just can't get that calming mindset. It has not been easy. And I'm a person that I feel like if this fast is not easy and it's not working for me, I'm going to break the fast. There's no need to put myself through torture because I'm not fasting as a punishment for something. I'm fasting because I'm looking for some healing benefits. So I haven't really been doing the extended fasting that I usually want to do. So instead, I have been incorporating more of these modified fasts where I'm still getting some good healing qualities from these surges of ketones that come in. And I feel like this has been helpful to me in place of those extended fasts where I just can't mentally get there. Now, I have done 2 things kind of on the topic of these modified fasts because these modified fasts are fairly high fat. The egg challenge is a bit higher fat than the sardine challenge. And I did have a little extra added fat during my sardine challenge than just the regular 1 tablespoon per 10, but I only had an extra tablespoon a day. So it wasn't much. I probably could have upped it more and it would have been just fine, but I was just trying to follow the protocol. But for this month, I have upped my fat, and then with this modified fasting, it is helping me to regulate my hormones better. Now, I will tell you quickly my reasoning behind all of that with the adding the fat and the modified fast and all that. A quick rundown of typically how I'm thinking about my schedule with fasting and all that is I do like the book Fast Like a Girl by Mindy Pelz. I like her general outline for timing on when to fast and when not to. So I do time my extended fasts according to my cycle. There are certain days during my cycle that work best with my hormones of when I am not having food. However, my cycle has been very irregular, and I have tried, since I read her book, I have tried things that she has said as far as having more carbs during certain times and things like that. Now, I am at the point now where when it comes to carbs, I had already cut them down almost completely out by the time I got her book. So to read things that say I need to have carbs, on the one hand, I want to fight against it and say, no, I don't need those carbs. On the other hand, my brain that used to love being on carbs would say, oh yeah, this is your excuse to go ahead and add some things in and try it. So yes, I did add some things in here and there, but it was very minimal stuff. I think the first couple times I tried it, I was still having dairy. So I was having more of the dairy that was higher carb, like the heavy cream and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that I did that I added that was carbier. There are a few carnivore foods that actually are carbier, like mussels, for example. So I know I think scallops maybe too. So I know I was doing like scallops and mussels, trying to up some carbs during that time and things like that. And then just having I guess kind of more of a keto mindset and having more sweeteners that had technically carbs, but if you're counting them the way a lot of keto people track carbs, they're doing net carbs. So whatever the sweetener is, you subtract that from it, and that's your net carb. So even though keto sweeteners have carbs in them, they are typically 0 net carbs. So I thought maybe I could finagle it that way. I will tell you, every single thing that I did adding carbs in, it didn't help. It didn't help. Now, in addition to the carb situation, towards the end of the cycle, that is when there is no fasting. She recommends 13 hours or less between eating. For me, a short fasting window is usually 16 hours. I typically easily go in 18 to 22 hours without food, just naturally before I feel hungry. So for someone to tell me that I need to be eating every 13 hours, it messes with my head a bit. It does. So I've tried it. Now I've been playing with different methods and following her guidelines for around a year now, maybe longer. I'm not sure. I can't even remember how long ago it was when I first read this information. But I've tried the eating more. And so basically I just give myself permission to eat all day long, and I don't need to do that. I'm eating when I'm not hungry. I'm just snacking for the sake of snacking, and that derails me. So typically during the end of my cycle, I gain weight because I'm eating nonstop, and it might have been a month where I decided we're going to add some carbs and see if this helps, and it hasn't been helping. For a while, my cycles have lasted 45 days or longer instead of the usual 28 to 30-ish days. I've had several months where I've completely skipped a period. I've had it be on again, off again. Like I will have a cycle this month, next month I don't have a period, and then I'm back. So it's been a wild ride. It really has been a wild ride. It wasn't until about a year or so ago that I started having these issues with getting things regulated. The first time I had an issue with being dysregulated with my cycle was when I went lion diet. And I think what my issue is because I did lose weight on the lion diet while this was going on. I thought maybe I just lost too much weight, and that's why my body was not having the correct cycle. Well, I have now realized through all of my trial and error and like really trying to work this out in my head, I think I figured out a plan for myself. And that is, I don't need the carbs and I don't have to eat around the clock, obviously. But the reason she tells you to do these things is because during that time of the cycle, your body is trying to produce the progesterone. You're trying to keep your cortisol very, very low so that your progesterone production is good. So the carbs, she says, eat them because it's going to keep your cortisol low. And she says, eat. Don't let yourself get hungry, because when you're hungry, you're stressing your body out and you're raising your cortisol. So, I I've thought about it and I've thought about it, and Dr. Elizabeth Bright is another really wonderful woman that I love getting information from, and especially when it pertains to the cycle. And I have read her book on menopause, because I know she talks about the female hormones in general. It's not specifically tailored to menopause. There's a lot of wonderful information in there. So I read that as well. And I'm kind of pairing both of their teachings together to help me figure out what's going on and how to get everything sorted. So I am using Mindy Pell's information for fasting for general guidelines, and it's great for when I do extended fasts. But during that last phase where I'm trying to keep my cortisol low, I'm using Dr. Elizabeth Bright's information and having more fat, because fat will bring that cortisol down. And then I am kind of pairing it with Mindy Pell's information about don't let yourself get hungry, so to speak. I'm just listening to my natural hunger cues. I'm not watching a clock to see when I get hungry or not. It still naturally falls around the 18-hour mark. However, I am having a bite of fat in the morning when I get up to immediately start lowering that cortisol, because that's what that fat does. And I am having a tablespoon of fat right before bed, again, to lower that cortisol before I go to bed. It's great at helping me sleep. It's been really good. That keeps me from having a completely empty stomach, which possibly could be causing me to have maybe a raise in cortisol. That is another reason I've added in these modified fasts, is during this time where Mindy Pell says eat, these modified fasts give me fasting benefits, but I can eat whenever I want. So with the sardine challenge, I get hungry, I have my sardines and I have my fat, and then I don't eat until I'm hungry again. And it could be any time during the day that I'm eating. So it all fits together really nicely to give me this this nice little package of what's going on. So all of that being said, sorry you had to listen to me ramble, but all of that being said, for this month, it worked. So I started my period yesterday, which is making this cycle that I just ended a 33-day cycle instead of 45 days or longer. So that's a big win for me, and I'm going to keep experimenting with this and keep it up. I'm going to do the same thing next month in June and just see if I get the same results, if this is what did it. So if you're interested in that, you have questions about it, or you want to check back in the future, just feel free to message me about it, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it, about the things that I've done. Now let's get into the results that I got from this 72-hour sardine challenge. Okay, so we are now on to the results of our challenge. So since I told you the things that I changed this month, let me go ahead and tell you where I started at the beginning of the month, where I'm at the day that I get started on this challenge that I have done nothing yet. That morning I've took all my information. So that's where I was up to that point. And then I will give you what happened during the challenge. So May 1st, my weight was 126 pounds. Like I said, I've been up a little bit just because I couldn't get it off after that cruise. So May 1st, I made those changes, taking out the dairy, having more rest days, and all that stuff. So let's see, from May 1st, 126 pounds. So when I started this challenge, I was 123.6 pounds. So I had already lost 2.4 pounds from the changes that I had made. It was 1.1% fat loss, 0.7% subcutaneous fat loss. So that's what I've been looking at. My visceral fat it's at a good place. And if I lose there, I'm happy with that too, but it's that subcutaneous fat that I'm watching. I'm gonna share this information with you guys so y'all can see it on the screen. So when I started the challenge, I weighed 123.6 pounds, and at the end of the challenge, I weighed 121.8. So that is a weight loss of 1.8 pounds. It's a 0.6% fat loss during that time. My body fat percentage, so it shows that it went down from 26.5% to 25.9%. My muscle rate went up 0.6%. My subcutaneous fat went down 0.4%. So all in all, this is very positive for me. Muscle went up and fat went down, and that's what I want to see. I was definitely happy as far as the fat loss goes, as far as being able to strengthen muscles during this time, but there were more benefits than just what the scale shows. So I just want to let you guys know that I had a ton of energy during this challenge, especially on the morning of day 3. Honestly, really throughout the entire day 3. And again, when I woke up on day 4, I had the biggest surge of ketones. I could feel the ketone buzz humming under my skin. It was like I had had a ton of caffeine and I was just vibrating, but it was a good thing. I had a lot of energy. I got a lot of things done. It was really good. Another thing is I slept amazing. I slept like a baby each night. I typically cannot eat after, say, 3 o'clock without it disrupting my sleep somewhat. I have a hard time getting comfortable at night when I eat later. I get really hot in the middle of the night when I sleep. I have a bit of indigestion and things like that. They just bother me. I don't like to eat later in the day. So I know that I did eat at least one of those days. I ate quite a bit later than usual. I slept great. I did not have an issue with that. So that is a really positive thing for me on this challenge, was I slept fantastically. And then last but not least, this was so affordable. I think my most expensive day with the sardines alone was around $4 because I had 4 cans. And then, I make my own ghee. And so that right there is not very expensive. So I will say my most expensive day was probably $5. That is insanely affordable. So I will continue doing what I'm doing. And maybe if you're interested in doing a sardine challenge in the future, let me know. I'd be happy to do it again with you guys. I really enjoy it. Or if you'd rather do an egg fast because you like eggs better than sardines, I enjoy doing both. Feel free to ask me to join you. I would love to do that. Or if you just want to know when I'm doing one next so you can join me, I'd be happy to do that. You can talk to me in the comments about it. You can find me over on X at Carnivore Friend. You can find me on Instagram at Friendly Neighborhood Carnivore. Come say hi. Let me know if you want to join me or anything like that. All right, guys, I hope this was enjoyable and I hope it was informative for you. It's quite a bit different from what I'm usually doing, just in the kitchen cooking for you guys. Let me know if you liked this. Sorry it was quite a bit longer, and it was definitely a rambly, listen to me talk kind of video. If you liked it, let me know. If this wasn't your thing and you just want me to shut up and get back in the kitchen, let me know that too. I'm good either way. So I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. And I will be cooking up something in the kitchen that day. Bye.
She's the friendly neighborhood carnivore with a talent for cooking up a meaty uproar. From juicy steaks to sizzling ribs galore, she'll have you coming back for more. Fellas, smash that like button. She's the carnivore cooking queen. On your screen, bringing the meaty scene. Come on over and join the team for a culinary